Welcome,
Hey,
welcome.
hey.
Welcome to
High Heels Happy Hour.
Yay.
Yay.
And I'm Ingrid.
And I'm Christina.
We switched it up a little bit today, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right. So, Ingrid, how was your week?
My week was great. It was uneventful.
That's
And
nice every now and then.
yes, I guess, yeah, it was nice. No major events. And that was it.
Yeah,
Kind of
okay.
easy, breezy. Everything went great. Oh, the kids started volleyball.
Okay.
So
Yeah, we're both heavily involved in volleyball.
yes. One of
Who
my
knew?
favorite sports. So it's
I
okay.
knew nothing about it. I hated it as a kid, but we only played it like sporadically. I didn't know how to count. I thought it just hurt my wrists. I thought it was stupid. But now I love being
And
a
you're a pretty feisty volleyball
volleyball
mom.
mom.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
fun. And then I'm
Yeah.
going to do my life hack because
Okay.
I'm excited
You
about it.
go for it.
And my life hack is to not multitask.
So it's a not hack.
Yes, a not do
Yes.
hack. And studies have shown that 40% it's higher, 40% higher of you doing absolutely nothing
Yeah.
getting nothing done.
Yeah, you
If
said you can
multi
do one thing well, or you could do several things not so well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you're
No.
listening, do not. I mean, listening and doing something else maybe, but multitasking a lot. No, don't do
Yeah.
it.
Well, sometimes I think as women think that it's kind of like a badge of honor of doing many things at the same time, but it really nothing good comes out of it.
No.
I agree.
I think it's
It's
funny
just get a lot of distracted work.
when moms are like, "Oh, my, I'm multitasking. It's such a hero." No, that's not a badge.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're going to talk about that next week, right? When we talk about
Yes.
the Pomodoros and other, ooh, so fun. So got to tune in again next week. So, I'll just talk about my week and then we can jump into today's episode.
No, and your hack.
And my hack. Yes.
Okay.
So, week wise, it was a great week. Bella, my daughter, had her 14th, or our daughter. I wasn't by myself. She had her 14th birthday, and she was a little bit of a miracle baby. They told us at 24 weeks that she was not going to survive. She had a condition called fetal hydrops, which is mostly a deadly outcome. But she turned 14 today, and she's a very healthy. Um, she has no kind of problems since her first year of
That's
being
awesome.
born. So yeah, and that's also kind of what we're going to talk about a little bit today, why I'm doing something that I'm doing. Because of that, having gone through that process. So every birthday is a little special because we kind of think back on the fact that it was very likely not to make it. And so that was fun. And then we had a senior night for the tennis team. And since both my husband and I we're Swedish, have not gone to high school, the whole thing about senior, we had no idea what that was. So that was kind of fun. That was our first senior night, anything.
Huh.
So that was fun. And my life hack, I guess, there's something I've done forever, but I didn't know not everyone did. So with having a high school senior, getting him ready for college, we're kind of doing little life skills around the house. So one of the things yesterday, he was like, "Oh, we should have French toast and do brunch." I'm like, "Okay, well, you're helping out." So then he's like, "Why are your scrambled eggs always so good?" I'm like, "I don't know." So he saw me pour in milk. He's like, "Oh, you're supposed to do that?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then I understood that not everyone does that.
Huh.
So I do milk, like a 2% milk, in the batter with your eggs, and then just salt and pepper. And because that's what my mom did, but apparently that's not everyone does that. So that's my hack. Put some milk in the batter, and if you don't want regular milk, you could do plant-based or nut-based, or yeah. makes it a little creamier.
I
Don't
love
put
it.
cream, then it's all of a sudden super unhealthy. So yeah,
Defeats the
don't do
purpose.
that. That's my hack. Um, yeah. So today we are going to talk about favorite things. We got again questions from friends and from the Facebook group on things, what do you guys like? What do you listen to? What do you read? So we're going to share some of
Are we
that.
gonna get gifts? Maybe we'll get gifts.
Maybe we'll get gifts too. Yes, I think so. We should give away gifts. But we wanted to start with take a minute and talk about, well, our favorite party of the year that we are throwing, Ingrid and I. So this is for those of you that are in the Vero Beach, Treasure Coast area. All you others out there listening, sorry, unless you want to fly in, of course.
Well, we do have a few.
We do have a few flying in,
Yeah.
yes. Coming in from Washington, D.C. My New York peeps can't make it this year. But anyway, so we're putting on a party called Mom Prom. Yes,
Yes.
it's Mom and Prom. And it's during prom season.
Yeah.
So this is a party. It's a fundraiser, and I'll talk more about the beneficiary. But it's a party for women only, girls only, 18 and above, and we dress up in gowns. We dance all night. We eat and drink and party.
Pretty much. Yeah.
And 90% of us dance 90% of the time.
Yes.
Yes. So we've had this once before in Vero 2020, right before everything closed
The
down.
world.
We had
shut
it, yeah,
down.
we had it February 29th. It was a leap year. And March, 17, everything
Yes.
closed. So we just made it. But it's a super fun night. And it really is. Why only women? Because you know what? Sometimes the guys hold us back on the dance floor because we're like, oh, do you want to dance? And they're like, oh, I'm too tired. I don't want to do it. I've already danced 2 dances.
And
That's
women
enough.
just dance.
And we can just dance. So now you don't have to feel bad about, well, I'm going to go dance with my girlfriends. That's what we're going to do. Dance with the
Pretty much.
girlfriends. So our stomachs are
Yeah.
growling a lot. Well, sorry, if there's background noise, it's our stomachs growling.
That's funny.
But yeah, so such a fun party. And the beneficiary is the Indian River County Healthy Start Coalition. And why do we have them as beneficiaries? Well, I've talked about it before, I am participating in Dancing with Vero Stars this year, which is a fundraiser that Healthy Starts put together. So 50% of it is dancing skills, which I am practicing, happy to report, and 50% is fundraising. So this is one of my fundraising events for Dancing with Vero Stars. And Ingrid is my campaign manager. She doesn't know it, but she is. No, she knows it. She's done a lot. But we have a committee for the party as well. But Ingrid really,
I try.
she's very good. So if anyone wants to hire her as a campaign manager, I don't pay that well. I don't pay at all. Well, I'll pay in love and I'll feed you and stuff.
No, but it's definitely fun to be a part of fundraising.
Yeah, it is. It's a different
fun.
animal. Some people find fundraising really fun, and I find it slightly scary because I think asking for money is hard.
Well, it is scary.
Yeah.
Well, and also too that I'm a part of another fundraiser.
Yeah.
For 2 things that I love. I love you, so it makes it a little
Aw.
easier. And for veterans too. So
Mhm.
it's definitely not the easiest thing asking for money.
Mhm.
But when you're asking for a great cause,
Yeah.
it's kind of like, well,
Yeah.
people, especially in Vero, we have a
Mhm.
lot of philanthropy.
Yes, we do. A lot of generous people here.
It's as long as you have a great cause,
Yeah.
it's kind of
Yep.
like, hey, by
Yep.
the way, and Mom Prom is, hey, by the way, I could use some money, and you're gonna dance nonstop.
Yeah. So yeah, that's been my
So
tactic, or yeah, strategy in fundraising
mhm,
is, because I don't have a bunch of companies that I work with that have super deep pockets that can buy big sponsor packages.
not yet.
Not yet. But I do like to put on a good party. So my strategy is just to put on a bunch of different event parties, things where people, yes, they're going to donate money, but they're going to get something for it. So Mom Prom is, I think, the highlight of my fundraising campaign. I think it will be, and because it's super fun. We raise a lot of money for Healthy Start, but it's a great party. So
People are
everyone will
still
have,
talking about
yeah, and even if it wasn't a fundraiser, I would still put it on.
yeah, I
Bes-
mean, we were going to,
yes,
but
and next year we'll
yeah.
put it on and we'll pick another charity. But I just want to say why I'm doing Dancing with the Stars is not because I am dying to be on stage in front of 700 people and see them fall flat on my ass. Hopefully not, but who knows? Uh, it is, well, I do like a challenge. I will say that. I do like a challenge. And ballroom dancing, or in this case, Latin dance, is not something I've ever done. So that's a challenge. But also because of a Healthy Start Coalition really help 95% of all babies born in our community. And it's not just babies that have issues or families that have issues. They have programs at the hospital, before the
Mhm.
hospital, afterwards, with breastfeeding, dad's classes, mom's classes, everything. So having gone through really difficult pregnancy, difficult first year with Bella, I know how it really takes a village to
Mhm.
raise and to have kids. And some people don't have a support system. And for a lot of people, Healthy Start is that village to help them out. And that's why I'm doing this. And that's why I want to raise a whole lot of money for that. So if you are not in Vero Beach, or you just feel like, you know what, I want to donate $2 or whatever amount it is, we're putting the link in the show notes, and all the money goes to the babies.
I love it.
So that's what. So Mom Prom is coming up May 6th,
Going by
Saturday, May
fast.
6th. And if you're listening, if you love to dance, if you want to find a reason to dress up, this is your party.
You don't wanna miss it.
Yeah. So link to that too in the show notes. But
Mhm.
we hope to fill the dance floor at the Boulevard.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's a little bit about, and I should say too, as a warm up for that, Vero Fitness, which is the gym where I have worked for many, many, many years, they are one of my sponsors, and they're putting on a Zumba
Literally
for a
warm up.
cause. Yes. So this is April 23rd, it's a Sunday between 2 and 4. There will be Zumba for a cause back in the arena, can take hundreds of people. Tickets are $10. All the money will go to the fundraising for Healthy Starts. So come warm up, practice, and then you go to Mont Prom. But this one, men can come to too. If they like to Zumba, they can come. My partner will be there. My professional
Oh,
dance
cool.
partner will be there.
I might bring Bella.
Yeah, you
Hmm,
should. I'm gonna bring my Bella too.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's that. But now let's talk about our favorite things,
We're gonna
because
talk about us.
we talk about us now. No, but I think one of my I think it's super important as an entrepreneur to constantly be growing. Mind, maybe not body, but mind, and really stretch our minds, learn new things. I think that's super important, that we
Mhm.
don't get stuck in our ways or stuck in a certain way of thinking. And I think today, with podcasts and audiobooks and all these great, in many cases, free resources, there's really no reason why because we shouldn't grow. Because if we don't grow, we die, right?
Yeah, that's so
Yes, that
morbid.
is so. Yeah, if we don't go forwards, we're gonna go backwards. Well, I'm sorry, but the mind kind of
Dun dun
dun
dun.
dun
All right,
dun. It was the
Christina.
reality check of today.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about some of our favorite inspirations and things that we love and we'd like to share with you. Now, there's going to be a long list. We're not going to put all of those in the show notes. So, but all of our favorites will be in our newsletter.
So they have to be
So
subscribed.
you can go to www.highheelshappyhour.com and sign up for the newsletter.
I'll sign up.
And then you will get all of our favorites. So where do you want to start? Do you want to start with books? Or what do you want to start?
Yeah, we can do this with books.
Favorite books. Do you want to go first?
You know what? I'm going to go first because I'm actually going to share something that you kind of just hit on. And if I wait too long, I'll forget.
Okay, you go.
So Christina mentions if you don't, grow, if you don't do something to learn,
Mm-hmm.
you don't really grow.
Mm-hmm.
So my books, and you'll see when we share our list, I had a lot in my head.
Mm-hmm.
So my sense of reading was not growing, was kind
Mm-hmm.
of just going through the motions and trying to find things to heal and unpack.
Yeah.
Whereas your list is a little different. So you'll notice when I share my list, a little bit of where I was in my headspace. So
Mm-hmm.
one of the things I've done um, is read self, not help, but healing books. So one of my favorites is What Happened to You. What
Mm.
Happened to You is kind of an understanding of what PTSD
Oh
happens.
yeah, and please, if you haven't heard the PTSD
Yes,
episode,
check it out.
we did where Ingrid shares all about the PTSD experience. Please check that out.
And next one, and I'm just going to tell you the titles. I'm not going to
Mm-hmm.
explain
Yep.
everything. So maybe on the notes or on our Facebook, we can elaborate a little bit on the titles.
Elaborate a little, but again, if you want the full list,
Yes.
you gotta subscribe.
Another one of my favorites is Mother Hunger. Mother
Oh,
Hunger was, oh my gosh.
oh,
And I haven't said that in a
I
really
have
long time.
never
Mother
heard
Hunger
that.
was so eye-opening, and it's exactly what it is. Mother Hunger
Okay.
is having that hunger for
Mm-hmm.
a mother and understanding some of the things that you do now or that I do
Oh,
has to
oh, so
do,
literally
yes,
mother. Uh,
literally Mother Hunger.
oh, okay. Yes, I can
Anne
understand.
Frank, The
Uh-huh.
Diary of Anne
Yeah.
Frank, it's one of my all-time favorites, and I
Oh,
can read that over and
oh,
over.
it's so sad.
Yes, but it was just, I think
Okay.
maybe that's
Mm-hmm.
kind
Yeah.
of,
Yeah.
again, it goes with where I
Mm-hmm.
was and where I
Yeah.
have been.
Yeah.
The Choice, which was it's a memoir of a surviving
Mm.
Auschwitz.
From Auschwitz.
Yes,
Yes, that's right.
and she goes on to the story on how she overcomes a whole mess of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and I can relate. Not Auschwitz, but some of the stuff that she went over. And you gave me this book, uh, Hoda. It's
Huda copy.
Hoda
Yeah.
copy, and it's I really needed to hear this, or I
Yeah.
really needed this.
Yep.
And that one I just open and
Yeah,
whatever.
they're little short stories,
Yes,
like little short quotes and
yes. I
things.
can only take things in short stuff
Yeah.
sometimes, so it's like perfect. Um, and then I have two more. Life's Golden Ticket, and it has a golden ticket on it. It talks about second chances,
Oh,
which
okay.
has been really good. And I think you and I should both share this book.
Mm-hmm.
It's Miracles Happen.
I have it in my pile.
Yes.
That,
And
that,
it's
that,
by,
look, it's the same person.
yes, by Mary Kay.
Mary
And I've
Kay
read that a
Ash.
couple of times.
Yep, that's okay.
So, and I've done Audible books, but this is kind of, I wanted to do my top 8 that I've read and I go back to.
And I just gave you 2 more, so they must be coming up on your list.
Yes, well, 3. You gave me, I think you
Oh,
have
the copy and then 2 more. Hoda copy and then the fasting one and
Atomic
the.
Habits we've talked about.
Oh yeah, I
I
have it
downloaded
here.
that.
Okay,
Yes.
yeah, that's
So
on my list.
yes, so that's my list. And again, a couple of them have a few new books, but you'll notice a little different list on Christina's end. And it's interesting because as you were talking, I was like, it's really where you are in your headspace
Yeah. Yeah.
because I understand we need to grow, but I had no place.
Mm.
I had no,
Bandwidth.
yeah,
Yeah.
I was kind of figuring out how the heck to deal with what I
Mm.
had in my head
Hmm.
versus you
That's
are
interesting.
like,
Yeah.
okay, I want more. And I'm like, I
Yeah.
can't handle any more. I need to focus on what the heck I have
Yeah.
in my head.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what's your list look like?
Okay. So I'm an avid reader, love to read. So I have a long list. But I'm going to start with like self development books that have stood out to me. Uh,
I might need to help her a little bit.
yeah.
So, if you're watching us, you have to watch
So
us on
yeah, on YouTube. So
YouTube.
yes, the first one is, oh, I lost some. The first
Yes.
one is Atomic Habits by James Clear. So the funny thing is with self-development books, I like the physical copy, but with fiction, I like Audible. So that way I can do
Oh.
at least two books at the same time. So one that I read physically, because I do like to underline stuff. And I feel like I can go back to it in a physical book. I don't do that on Audible or Kindle. I don't have a Kindle.
We can't do that on Audible, but I can
Yeah.
see. Yeah.
So I do like the physical turning of the pages in a self-development. So Atomic Habits, James Clear, such a great book. If you haven't read it, do it. It's great for productivity and all that good stuff. Another one that's good for productivity that I really like is Free to Focus by Michael Hyatt. I've talked about the full focus planner that I
Yes.
use. Same guy. So great also getting organized, getting things done, and doing it in not multitasking. It's exactly so. No
Life hack.
multitasking right there. And then I do like this one too, because I've talked about branding. That's kind of what I work with. It's very bright. Let's see if I can there. Building a story brand by Donald Miller is talking about, telling stories about your brand and how you. So I think for entrepreneurs, super important book to kind of how to tell your story, how to make it um, make sense, but also attractive to why people should hire you. And then this one is such a, you should read. This is short. This is super short. This is a self-development book, but it's written in a almost like a fiction way. It's called The Go Giver. And it's a little story about a powerful business idea. It's written as a story by Bob Berg and John David Mann. Love this book. There's a follow-up to it too, but this is
Hmm.
such a great little.
I
And
might take that one home
yes,
today.
you can because it's really short and quick, but very, very good book.
Huh.
Then this is one that we talked about a lot when we were training in my Mary Kay. I did a lot of trainings out of this book. It's called The One Thing by Gary Keller with Jay Papasan. Talking about, again, not to multitask, but what is that one thing you can do to take you further? And the one thing instead of seeing the many. It's really, I need to read this again. It's been a while. But in here, there's a lot of underlying, yes, a lot of highlights and underlines. In
Is
here.
this the one that talks about when you grab some?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
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 Okay.
The
Wait,
rule
we
of
should
one.
we should
Yes.
probably tell the people.
Well, it's about
really quick.
when you pick something, you know how we kind of shuffle things around and we have like piles. The rule of one is if you pick something up. I pick up this book. I can only put it down once. Either I have to go carry it around, or I can only put it one
Or put it away where
down.
it's supposed
Put
to
it away.
go.
Yes.
Yeah.
So then you want to put it in its place, and if it doesn't have a place, you make a place. So you can't just put it down and then shovel it and put it somewhere else. No, rule of one, if you pick it up, you gotta put it down in its right
Yes, I love
place.
that.
Oh, I need to talk about this one too. So those were some, and then the miracles happen. and then a classic that you also need to. I'll share that with you because I have actually have that one on Audible. How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie, and I think that was
Mm.
written in the 40s or 50s or something. But the
Huh.
rules are the same. Such it's a great
There's a lot of things that are the same, and
yes.
with the years, we've just changed them, but they
Yeah,
should just
it's
go
just the
back then.
technology changes, but
Yeah.
people's mindsets do not. One I have not read that I found in my pile, sorry,
Nope.
that I'm surprised I haven't read is also a classic. I can't find it. There. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. So I'm holding myself accountable. I will read this
I think I have
next.
that book too. I haven't read
I
it.
have not read it. So that will happen. Now, then I'm going to move on to health books because I do love to. So, self growth, business marketing, entrepreneurship, and health are kind of my themes. You'll see that in my podcast too. But I am a big fan of Dr. Gundry. So, the Plant Paradox book is super interesting about me as a vegetarian, especially since I thought all vegetables were good. They're not. But you
Hmm.
learn a lot about, he's pretty hardcore. I don't go 100% in, but I like the way he explained things and talk about it. And it's also, I have the recipe book to this. There's recipes in here as well. But Plant Paradox, I think, is a great health book. I also really like Feast Repeat by Jen
Hmm.
Stevens for us intermittent fasters, or if you're curious about intermittent fasting, Feast Repeat is a great book. I
I
left mine
started
in
that.
Sweden. I didn't because I finished it there. So those are my self development favorites. And then I have some because I'm in a book club. I've been in a book club. Shout out to JC Book Club. It used to be Jungle Club Book Club. Now Jungle Club has changed names, but we're still the JC Book Club. It was some of the first friends I met in Vero, and we started way before Bella was born. So 16 years probably we've been
Oh
meeting every
man.
month with some interruptions. But yes, they kind of went through my whole pregnancy with Bella and all that. So we've read a lot of books, but for this, I use Audible most of the time. But just some of my favorites that we read over the last couple of years or year. The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides, I think is a Greek name. Such a good book. Lessons in Chemistry, such a good book too. By Bonnie Garmus, Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. The Rose Code by Kate Quinn. And then, of course,
Mm.
all the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo books because they are Swedish. The whole series, such a great series. And then, of course, my all time favorite, hold on,
Dun dun
not
dun.
all time, but I co-wrote a book. I can't see it here either. It's too bright.
Let's see.
It is called The Musical Imprint. So me and 22 other, we're not authors. Well, we weren't
There
before
it
we
is.
started. We wrote short stories in here of how a song has changed or imprinted in our lives.
There she
Yes, that's
is.
me. I'm chapter 3. The book
Lucky
can be bought
three.
on Amazon or through me. Just let me know. Oh, I'm going to give one away. Yes. So my chapter is all about me living in New York. It's called Moby, Manhattan, and Me. And it's about 9/11. I lived there when
Mm.
it happened and kind of how the Moby song that I was listening to kind of was the theme song to my life back then. But it's a great, not just my story, but there's a lot of great stories in there, just short stories about music. And then with that, it's also a Spotify playlist. So you can listen
Oh, that's
to
fun.
the songs while you read about, yeah, how they
I didn't
imprinted.
know that.
Yes. Oh, well, yeah. You can just go musical imprint on Spotify and you get the
Oh,
whole. So yeah, it was a great talking about again doing things out of our comfort zone and growing. I never wanted to write anything, and then they asked me last year if I wanted to be a part of this book, and I thought, why not?
I
So it
love
was
it.
fun. It was a great experience. All right, those were my books. What about podcasts, Ingrid? What
Okay.
are you, since everyone listening and us are avid podcast listeners, right?
So podcasts again. I mean, your my favorite things are things that have gotten me through things, and
Well, isn't that
it's
great? There are things for everyone out there. I mean,
yeah.
that's just there's so
I mean,
much. It's great.
you just don't. I guess you don't realize until I was writing stuff down because you've always been kind of, oh, you don't do that? I'm like, I don't have time. I don't have, so I'm learning as I go. And it's interesting because, of course, one of my favorite podcasts to listen to is with these two girls
I
that have been best friends for like, I don't know, 11
have
years.
heard about that one.
And one is Spanish and one is Swedish. Oh,
Yes.
called High Heels Happy Hour.
All
Oh, I
right.
love the name. I just love it. That's one I listen to quite often and a few times. um, Brene Brown,
Oh yeah.
and
Yeah.
she has a few.
Yeah.
She has a few podcasts.
Yeah,
And,
her books too. I haven't read entire books of her.
mhm,
I've read parts of
TEDx. She
books.
has
She has yes, I've seen her TEDx talk.
I've
So good.
I've listened to it a few times. She has a bunch of
She's
different
so brilliant. Yeah.
topics. But one quick thing about her was I didn't I thought I knew, but I didn't know she's not a therapist.
Hmm.
She's actually a researcher, which
Hmm.
you'll find out when you listen to her. So when she does her researching, she's actually working on herself as well, which I
Oh.
thought
Hmm.
was interesting
Yeah.
because
I mean, I guess we all do if we're researching something that's close to us. That's a so yeah. It's another
yes,
reason
but
to.
I actually listened to something today and I was like, oh,
Hmm.
she's in it with the research,
Ah. Yeah.
which made all the sense when you listen to her stuff. Another one is motivational speeches daily. So
Huh.
they're all different motivational speeches done
Ah.
by a lot of different people, and every day is a different one, which I love. Healing sounds, which I do for like chakra energy, and I
Mm-hmm.
listen to them on the way to school with the
Mm-hmm.
kids. So they
Mm-hmm.
actually sit in the car for a little bit with their eyes closed, feet on the floor, hands on their lap,
Mm-hmm.
on their way to school, just to kind of relax them and give them a little bit of energy. And last but not least is binaural beats,
Oh.
which are great for creativity,
Uh-huh.
relieve anxiety,
Okay.
and and meditation. So
I have
my
not listened to that one either.
it's been really, and those are a little bit in the car they're great.
Hmm.
They're better in headphones.
Okay. So
It,
you're more immersed.
it has brain waves, so
Uh-huh.
it activates certain waves activate like your thinking, your
Hmm.
rationalizing parts of the brain. It's really cool. At first
Huh.
you might feel like, "Ugh, this sound is a bit ooh."
Yeah.
However,
Hmm.
listen to it for a little bit
Okay.
and
I better give that a try.
yes.
So this is so those of you that follow this podcast know that we have very different personalities and we have, different discs and different love
Yes.
languages and different even though we're best friends. My list is not couldn't be any more different than yours.
When we decided to do this,
It's so funny.
I said, Christina,
Yeah.
and I didn't even share with you because I said, I'm not even gonna prepare her because she's gonna be like, what? Like,
No, but I think that's great.
they have to watch us literally
Yeah,
on YouTube because
that's
your
so funny.
face is like, what? You do what
No,
beach?
hey, I think
No,
it's
but this is
great.
no, but this is fun
It's
because
great. We
it
can all learn from each other.
she will probably listen to a few of mine,
Yeah.
and I will probably listen to a few of
Yeah.
hers because I do respect what she listens to. And I'm looking at her list. I'm like, oh, oh gosh. And she's looking at mine like, what? So
Yeah. That's
those
fun.
are my, and I have a few more, but these are my top kind
Uh-huh.
of my go-to
Oh.
whenever I just want to clear my mind. Because usually,
Mhm.
again, my mind is super busy.
Mhm.
So when I listen to something, I'm not looking to
So
add.
so that's I'm completely different. So
Yes.
especially when I'm super busy, then I just want to learn something new. So
Yeah.
I take away my thoughts
I
from
am not
and
looking
I'm
to
so I am not the you know daily affirmation person.
uh,
I am very like, give me some hands-on to-do list. Like if you have bullet points, I'll be super excited. Or numbers, like number one, do this. That yeah, but that's why we work so well together, and that's why
that's why this
this
podcast is
podcast
perfect
just
because
has everything. There's something for everyone. So my podcasts are very hands-on
you
tools.
ready?
Are we ready? I love Gold Digger with Jenna
Mm.
Kutcher. It's entrepreneurship. Yeah, it's a great. She has a lot of things, but it's one of the biggest podcasts in the United States, a marketing podcast. Another one is Online Marketing Made Easy with Amy Porterfield. Also, great tips. Gotten so much out of those. It was some of the first podcasts I ever listened to. I really like Hint of Hustle with Heather Sager that we've
Mm.
had on the podcast. So she talked about stages. So go and check that out. That episode too. She's really fun. She has great hands-on tips, and I always learn something new. Mel Robbins. So she's more of the mindset
I've heard
queen.
of some
I
of hers.
do
Yes.
like, and Mel Robbins she has a lot of different on Audible. She has series too that I loved. I love, but I listened to a lot of them during the pandemic. I remember. Um, I love the Jasmine Star show. She is really good about online marketing, social media queen. I learn a lot there. Build Your Tribe with Shalene and Brock Johnson is also all about kind of their Instagram king and queen. And then Jill Cruz podcast. She was also on our
Oh,
podcast.
yes.
She's a nutritionist. But her podcast talks a little bit about, I was actually a guest. I guess it'll be airing in June, I think. But health, but also female kind of entrepreneurship and growth. And then Her Money with Jean Chatsky. I do like a money hands-on tips for how to plan, your financials.
That's
Do
on my
love that.
to listen list.
And then we go into the health podcasts because I do have some favorites there too. So I told you about Dr. Gondry's book. I love his podcast too. He's on YouTube and on podcast. So the Dr. Gundry podcast. I love the intermittent fasting podcast and the Waste Away podcast. It's great as well. And then my last segment or last genre is I am obsessed with true crime podcasts.
I
So,
do watch when I do watch TV.
Yeah.
Sometimes I love crime and
So
mystery.
Dateline,
Yes.
which is NBC's. Then you have 48 Hours, which is ABC, and then 2020, or one is CBS, maybe 48 Hours CBS, 2020 is ABC. They all have podcasts too. So my husband and I, when we go on long car road trips, we listen obsessively to all of these podcasts. Yes.
Well, Victored.
Yeah,
I think
that's what we do.
Okay.
So those are some of my favorites.
Okay.
I have more, but they will be in the newsletter.
Ton. And I'll add some of the ones I didn't say.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Because we can go on all day.
yes.
Yeah.
And yeah, so really quick on the dumping, I wanted to share. I have it open here.
Yeah.
So I had to. I was trying to figure out how to get stuff done,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I always go to bed, and I'm like, oh, I have to do this. I have to do that.
Mhm.
So I don't know if anyone listening has that. I
I
don't know.
do.
I'm the only one. So I thought maybe I can make this like fanny pack notebook or this like notebook that pops out of
Oh,
anywhere.
yeah.
But until then,
Yeah. Yeah, you can work on
and you don't
that.
have to read this. I'm just showing you, but I don't know if you can. Oh, you probably can't see it.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But those are all. This was in my head, and
Yeah.
like I don't know.
Yeah,
I have like pages.
I need a good to-do list. Like, and I love it in a book form too, because then
Yes.
it's
Well, I have it.
there and
I
you
just did a
can,
notebook, and I little
yeah.
things. I
Yep.
mean, that pop up like, oh, I need to
Brain
do
dump.
this and do
Yeah,
this,
that's great.
and I've been able to do a lot more because then I cross it out, and I'm like, oh, I'm like, it's already in the book. I don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how did I not think about this
Yeah.
before? I'm getting old, and it's coming to me now. I'm like, gosh, I would have. This
But
would
it's
have
a great
helped.
idea to keep it by the bed too,
Yes.
because then if you, before you fall asleep or something, you put it down in the book, then you can sort of, you're not
It's
going to forget.
no, you won't
Yeah.
forget, no matter what it is.
Yeah.
So let's see. So the next thing we have is food.
Favorite foods. Now you're really going to get to know us.
Gosh.
Yes. I like a lot of food. Different.
I'm open to
Yeah.
trying new things. I love trying new things,
Mhm.
but my favorites are dark chocolate.
Mm.
Pretty much
Mm.
anything dark chocolate,
Mhm.
and if it has coconut in it,
Mm.
you got me.
Mhm. Yeah, I
Coconut
agree.
almonds. Oh, I'm like, yeah, just
Yeah.
yeah. I love that. Coffee. I don't know if it's a food or a drink, but I like anything coffee
Uh-huh.
and ice cream.
Hmm.
I love
Really?
I love a really good ice cream.
Oh.
And I'm very particular with my ice cream.
Yeah, this is all desserts
Yes.
and drinks.
And a Greek food.
Uh-huh.
I love
You do?
I love Greek food.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, see, we learned something new.
I didn't know you love Greek food.
I love Greek food. I love
Okay.
like Mediterranean Greek
Mhm.
food,
Okay.
and Mexican. But I
Mhm.
guess the healthy part of Mexican.
Uh-huh.
I love
You can
I
do
like
Mexican healthy.
like piles of stuff. Like I love bowls. I
Yeah.
love to be able to
Mix.
make.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
So I'm more of a let me make stuff with what I want.
Yeah.
So
Huh.
that's me. But new things, I'm
Sure.
open to
What
new
do you
things.
like to cook at home? What do you usually cook?
I chicken steak, bowls. Like I usually do like veggies like Brussels sprouts. I
Mm.
love Brussels sprouts.
Oh, don't get me started.
Sweet potato,
Mhm.
sweet potato Brussels sprouts.
Okay. But is it like a special cuisine? Do you do like Puerto Rican or do you,
No,
since
because
that's
Puerto
where you're
Rican is
from?
a little heavy.
Okay.
I don't fry anything.
Mhm.
What I don't do.
Well, you have an air fryer.
Have an air fryer. Well, air fryer, yes.
Yeah.
But oil, like
Yeah.
deep fry, deep fry.
Deep fry.
I don't
Okay.
deep fry. But cuisine, I don't.
Hmm.
We actually picked up having a 1 day a month
Mhm.
that we do a cuisine that's not here.
Okay.
Like
Yeah.
foreign, like
I
different.
love that.
So, but I know that I think you do that more
I
often than I do.
very often. Yeah.
I do once a month.
Oh. Well, the thing is, I will say, growing up in Sweden, there is a lot of influences from all over the world. I mean,
Mm.
being European is one way because everything is close by, so you get a lot of influences. But there's also, I mean, Indian, African, you can find anything. So I think the whole idea of only
Ah.
eating from one region, that's like unheard of in Sweden. Like
Huh.
if you go to Mexico, now I'm generalizing, but it's mostly Mexican food, or people mostly cook Mexican food.
Well, same thing
So
with,
yeah,
with
maybe
me.
Puerto
I
Rico.
grew up,
Yeah.
with rice and beans.
Yeah.
And so typically at the house, you won't get rice and beans at my
Mhm.
house.
Mhm.
So I'm very,
Mm. Yeah, we
Yeah.
didn't grow. Of course, there's traditional Swedish food with the meatballs and all that, which we had as well. But when we went out for dinner, or it was always trying something. So I think we grew up with the whole thing of you should always, and then we traveled a lot as kids. growing up, they put us in the station wagon and drove down to Europe. Like pick a country, and we drove
That's
there.
so fun.
Uh,
I almost want to move to Europe just so I can do that.
yeah, you can. But it's like touring the U.S., but here it's pretty much the same. There, you're in a different. So the whole idea of very diverse eating has been instilled for me and my husband since kids. So I've always cooked from all over the world, and I love to try to, because cooking is one of my favorite things to do. But really try to find new regions to explore. And often when we say what's for dinner, it's not like, oh, it's chicken or steak. It's, oh, it's Asian, or it's could be Greek, or it's Italian, or it's more of, we talk more in regions than in what type.
Asterisk to do. I'm gonna switch it up.
So yeah, I do. And my favorite is Indian food. I love Indian food. Also Middle Eastern, like Lebanese food, love it. And going a little further into Europe, Turkish food, I think is phenomenal. Much better than Greek, I think. But but they have a lot of kind of, you share dishes and you dip in different, stuff. Yeah. Hummus is another. Yeah, I love that type of eating.
I love that type of eating.
Yeah,
and I didn't know.
Then you need to come to Turkey, because you eat a lot of that. It was great. I mean, Turkey's maybe not a great country to travel to right now, but still, the food is delish. Apart from that, I think I love salads. So I do salads from all over the world too. It could be Asian, it could be whatever. But for me, a salad is not just lettuce. It's got to be like a whole meal. The salad itself is the whole meal.
I learned salads to be a whole meal from you.
Oh, I'm so glad. Thank you.
At the house, though, it's, Victor grew up with salad, lettuce, and like tomatoes, and I think we talked about dressing.
Yeah.
Their dressing is lemon, olive oil, and salt. That's it.
Yeah. Yep.
So we don't even buy dressing at the house.
Yeah.
It was with you that I was like, oh, we can put cranberries and almonds and
sweet potatoes and this and that, and the kitchen sink. Yes. So you can, and different types of cheeses. Yeah. So I do love to explore, but I'm someone who, if I read a recipe, unless it's something I've never tried before, I can never follow a recipe, because I have to kind of switch things out and go, no, let's put some of that in. But I also looked at my spices, spice racks. Sometimes you read these strange recipes and you're like, gosh, I don't have any of this. But for most of these kind of different recipes, I got all those spices, the satars and the garam masalas and the cumins and I got that on a daily basis. Yes.
Okay, well, I'm coming over.
I might be out of salt. No, I'm never out of salt. But
that's awesome.
Yes. Yeah. So Ingrid, what are your favorite hobbies? What are your favorite things to do when you're not hanging out with me, mom promming, or producing a podcast?
Oh, wow. Well, I love coloring.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah. I love coloring. Card games. Board games. I love a good board game, card game. We play Rummy 500.
Okay. Never played that?
No. The kids and I play. We're so competitive. Oh. And there's Victor's way and there's Mom's way. So depending on how I feel, it's either my way or Victor's way, because sometimes his way is a little easier.
I thought you were going to say it's either my way or the highway.
Well, no, his sometimes is a little easier. Volleyball, beach. I love going to the beach. Playing volleyball. I love working out, running. I love running. However, my body is not liking running so much. Yeah. So, but I find running a place that I can just lose myself. Yeah. Running.
So will walking have the same effect on like the mind release for you?
I've been doing more walking. I find myself walking faster just so I can get the running. But I don't know if it's my body's just not
Yeah.
responding to running.
Yeah,
Like
right.
I'm in
Yeah.
more of a pain afterwards after running.
Mhm.
So
Mm.
I don't know. It's just kind
Yeah.
of stinks because running is was one of those things I did just
Yeah.
because.
Yeah.
So, but that's me. Yeah. How about you?
So I said, well, cooking is one of my favorite things to do, but also I love running, and my body still has not yet told me I can't. So I do that a lot. I like to run fairly long distances. I am going to do a marathon, not this year, next, but
It's
yeah,
recorded.
yes, yes. And of course, working out. I've been a fitness instructor, as you know, for years and years. So that's important. And it's not a must. It's not a, oh, gotta work out. It's a, oh my goodness, I want to work
Hmm.
out. I get to work out
Yes.
because yeah, to me that's really mind release and kind of sanity. Um, I love skiing. And this is one of those things that I don't do anymore because I live in Florida. And my husband is not into skiing, so we just never did. But as a kid, and as I was a skiing instructor for years in my late teens and early 20s, and I just love skiing. So I next year it's got to happen. I'm going. I don't care who's coming with me. I'm going. Yeah, I used to ski. I used to ski. I've skied so much in my day that now when I was back in Sweden, I just ski for one day. But it's like for me, it's like riding a bike. I've done it so much in the past that it's not like I'm starting from scratch anymore. I'm not scared. I'm not, it's
It was
just like you
exciting.
put on the boots and you're like, woo, and then you go. And you might be a little rusty at first, but no, it's just yeah,
That's
I've
awesome.
done it enough in my life. So that's something I wish I did more of. I will do more of next year or going forward. And then dancing, of course. I've always loved dancing, but this whole new, as I said, the new Latin, the new salsa, that
Salsa's
I'm not just
fun.
eating salsa, I'm now dancing salsa or
Salsa's
starting.
fun.
Yeah, it's challenging for these stiff Swedish hips to
No,
move
she's
that.
not that stiff. She loves
But
you
it's
can
gonna be
dance.
fun. Yeah, but the dancing has always been. That's why I put on a dance party like Mom
Yeah.
Prom, because it's purely selfish reasons. I love to dance.
That hey, dancing is fun. And
Yeah.
then one of the things I would love to do more, since you're
Yeah.
talking about that,
Uh-huh.
is traveling. I know you
Mm.
traveled a lot as a child. I
Yeah.
did not.
Hmm.
So traveling for my family is on my to-do list.
Yeah.
And traveling by myself,
Hmm.
like just not knowing anyone
Hmm.
where I'm going.
Yeah.
I that's been on my to-do,
Yeah.
and it's been kind of like a little bit of a crutch.
Oh.
Because I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go, and I'm like, oh no, I'm not gonna go because then I have to do this, I have to do that, and
Hmm.
I that's been on my
Yeah.
to do.
I did that a lot when I worked in advertising way back when I lived in Sweden before kids. I had to travel by myself because we had meetings like in London and
But were you
Paris.
traveling to meet somebody for work?
Well, I met them for work, but then I had the evenings and hotel rooms and all that kind of eating by myself. And at first, and I was a lot younger. So at first, it was intimidating. I like ate in the hotel room, but then I'm like, no, I'm just gonna go out there and it's really fun. I enjoy it a lot now. Enjoy going to a restaurant, sitting, reading a book, or it was. I thought then you meet a lot of people that way.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's my
So
thing.
when if in a few years we can travel together, but we can pretend we don't know each other.
Yeah,
And then,
that would be fun. And then also my last but not least is building new memories.
Mhm.
Is really enjoying the moments.
Yeah,
Where as we get more mature,
yeah,
and
yeah,
we work, having all this stuff going on, all the things that we do, you kind of sit and think. Oh, I've had a little more time to sit and think, and I'm like, I really want my children to have more memories
yeah,
on what they did when they were little,
hmm,
and it's up to me. So that's
yeah.
been one thing that I've been.
The love languages. Mine is spending time because that's when you create a
Yes,
lot of memories.
but we're so busy. We're so caught up
Yeah.
in stuff.
Yeah. No, it's hard to yeah, someone said, I don't know, someone said life is what happens when you're busy making other plans.
Yeah.
It kind of just passes by and instead of enjoying
It goes quick.
yeah. Yeah.
It
Yeah.
goes quick. My
It
gosh.
does.
Okay. So,
All right.
Christina,
So, wow, we got squeezed a lot in, but hopefully, a little more, got some nuggets and tips. Either if you need more mindfulness or if you need more practical hands on
mindfulness
things
is
too.
practical.
Yes, yes. And practical can be very mind releasing too. But yeah, we just wanted to share some of our favorites and hope they will be your favorites as well.
Yeah, and then for the giveaways, stay tuned
Yes.
because Christina's giving away.
I'm giving away the musical imprint. I might even sign it.
Hey,
Or maybe that will
you didn't sign
destroy it.
mine.
I didn't. Oh, bring it back outside.
Oh gosh.
And then
And I'll be giving away some Audible credits.
oh,
So I have some.
so there's no reason not to
Yes.
grow.
You can grow, you can flow, whatever you want.
Yes.
Whatever
Yes.
your heart
Listen
desires.
to some good chakra music.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or some true
Very
crime.
cool.
Whatever you want. So, Christina,
Yes.
again, this was
Again.
fun.
Wow.
Gosh. Good to hang out with you.
You too. So until next time,
Cheers.
cheers.